Bishop, you mentioned earlier about commitment and you emphasized that a lot. But I wanted to add to that, usually when we do counseling and we're bringing in people for counseling, and husbandry is so important, we often emphasize that the greatest commitment you will ever make in your life, besides salvation, would be who you marry.
Right.
We've always emphasized that. When you're taking this step to be a husband, you're entering into one of the greatest steps you will ever encounter in your life besides salvation. And we say that because husbandry, according to the Word of God, is not supposed to change.
That's right.
You can take classes, have a career, and decide later, I'm going to change my career and go to a different career.
Right.
You can buy a home and say, well, I've stayed here so many years, I'm going to move. Buy cars. Everything, even the children, and we'll get to that later, they're going to eventually leave. Everything changes in life, but who you commit yourself into husbanding has to be, according to the Word of God, supposed to be for the rest of your life.
Wow.
That's why even in the marriage vows, we say it's not to be entered into lightly.
Right.
So husbanding has a great role. And when a man gets into that, that's why it's kind of, Bishop, you wonder why when people commit themselves and marry at 16, 17, are they really mature enough to make those kind of lifelong decisions?
Well, that's a good point and a good question and a good segue. And that is because, let's back up and address what you first said. And all the counseling we have done, the truth of the matter is I've not done much counseling. You cannot counsel a marriage that is in trouble or that is headed toward trouble, and the man has not made a commitment.
That's right.
There's no counseling. If he doesn't come through the door, we have problems, and we want some help to work those problems out. If he has not already established the foundation that there is commitment there, it's like trying to build a house without a foundation.
Wow.
You can put the walls up, you can put the roof on, but it's going to fall. So there is really no counseling that can be done unless the foundation is in the man that I'm in it for life. If he's not in it for life, you can't counsel.
That's right.
Now, you can talk, you can hear complaints, you can hear his side of it, you can hear her side of it, but you can't counsel. To counsel, as the definition of the word is to impart wisdom and understanding and instruction into. Without commitment, there's no entry point.
That's right.
All the words are going to fall onto, quote unquote, deaf ears. It's still going to be her fault, or it's still going to be his fault. But if there is commitment as the foundation, then the ear is open to say, okay, I'm in it for life, help me. Because if you're not in it for life, and you know you really have a back door of getting out of it,
That's right.
there's nothing we can instruct you with.
Oh, that's
We
good.
cannot, quote unquote, counsel. And the truth of the matter is, Dr. Owens, I've not done many. We've been in the pastorate 33 years, been in the ministry, been preaching now 45 years, and I've done a whole lot of counseling. I've heard a lot of complaints. But because of the lack of initial commitment, there's not been a lot of counseling.
Wow. And Bishop, commitment requires relationship. You have to have a relationship with the person. You got to spend time. You have to like them.
Yeah, that's
You got to like them to make it really work as well.
Dr. Owens, you done hit a very high bar, because there are people that are in love that don't like one another.
Wow.
There are people that divorce and say, I still love them, but I can't live with them.
Right.
And you just hit the highest bar in a relationship. Your commitment has to be based on the fact that I do like this person. Now, I'm committed to be with them the rest of their lives, but to be with them in peace the rest of their life, you really do have to like them.
Right.
If you don't like them, it's kind of like getting children to eat vegetables. They just don't. It may be good for them. The body may need it, but the problem is they just don't like it.